video I thought I might talk on confidence and self-image and stuff like that. I know a lot of girls, I guess, going through their teenage years or adolescent or even going through their young adult years have either came across this idea or even dealt with self-esteem. So I thought I might just give you my personal tips on what self-esteem is, how to have a lot of self-esteem, and how to have healthy and positive self-image about yourself. So if you enjoyed this video and a lot of these tips helped you or were very helpful, make sure to give this video a like. So if you're not subscribed to my channel already, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you will be notified when I come up with a next video just like this one. And without further ado, let's get started. So what is self-esteem? Self-esteem is your perception or your idea of how you view yourself. There is good self-esteem and then there's bad self-esteem. Good self-esteem usually comes with confidence and self-worth, and your self-image is pretty good. And usually what comes along with bad self-esteem is, you know, low confidence, low self-esteem, all that type of stuff. And I'm just gonna talk about a few points that could help build your self-esteem and some experiences that I had with low self-esteem. Usually you think, you know, growing up, that's when you develop your self-esteem and self-image. When you're in your pre-teens, about 11, 12, 13, one of those ages, you're starting to, I guess, have an idea about yourself, who you are, stuff like that. And during that age, usually hits puberty. I don't know, certain ages are different for other people, and you're just not comfortable with yourself. You really don't know what's going on and stuff like that. I think that, you know, everyone deals with low self-esteem at some point. It's just the most important thing is trying to have good self-esteem, good confidence. And I'm just going to share my story on how I got a lot of confidence and how my self-esteem is very, very high and strong. I started this YouTube channel out on the basis of increasing my self-esteem. And what I mean by that is usually, you know, when you're in front of the camera, you're talking to your audience. I didn't have a problem with that. I'm good with public speaking and speeches and stuff like that. When you're in high school, you want to be like everyone else, because trust me, I have been in your shoes and I've been in that particular incident where you're like, oh my god, this person looks like this and this person looks like this and I want to be exactly how they look. And sometimes that's just unrealistic, and you have to tell yourself, you know, God made you the way you are, your parents made you the way you are, just embrace who you are. And I know coming from me, saying embrace who you are may be kind of far-fetched if you're dealing with low self-esteem. You see yourself in the mirror, you are the only person who can think the most of you. It doesn't matter who out there says something about you or thinks this way about you. It doesn't matter about any outside people. It doesn't matter about that. It matters about how you feel inside. And like I said, I was dealing with low self-esteem from a different amount of problems that was going on. And usually a lot of problems that was going on and a lot of the low self-esteem came from high expectations and wanting to be like certain people, and you just can't put yourself in that category because that's just a goal that you'll never reach, you know. So dealing with that was very, very hard. I came a long way, and I'm not saying that my self-esteem is just through the roof and I'm confident, I'm that. A lot of people deal with it every day. It's not something that can happen overnight, and it's not something that you can't just be finished with your self-esteem. You know, you do have certain cracks and bumps along the way. You just have to deal with them. You have to love yourself. This is what I'm trying to convey to you. It's just that you have to love yourself, because at the end of the day, the only person who is going to love yourself is yourself. And if you don't love yourself, then I'm going to give you some tips on how to improve your self-esteem. One thing that I did when I first started on trying to improve my overall self-esteem, and actually this was a school project, actually not a school project, it was more like a college project. So the first thing I would say is to keep a journal. keeping a journal and writing down your thoughts and your wishes and your goals and stuff like that can help you to get a lot of the internal feelings out. And I still, to this day, I still keep a journal. And like I said, you're never done with your self-esteem journey. So keeping a journal is very, very significant when dealing with your self-esteem. You can write down a list, and this is what I did. I wrote on a piece of paper. One side was all the great things that I love about myself, and on the right side was all the things that I didn't like about myself and wish I had. And you have to see which one of the lists has the most stuff. The side that had the most stuff was the stuff that I loved about myself, and you have to take that into consideration. I know everyone has their flaws and everyone is not perfect, but you have to do it with you have. And the second thing, well, this is what I did. I don't know if everybody else would want to do this, is I made a YouTube channel. You know, even though you think that you're talking to somebody else through the screen, you're actually talking to yourself, and you're building your self-confidence. And that's how I build my confidence, because trust me, when I first started YouTube, you can even look back to my first videos, I wasn't that confident. I was hesitant, I wasn't sure of myself, and every video I put out and every time I uploaded a video, it just was rewarding to myself and to my self-esteem. Like, Jasmine, like, you are somebody, you know, and people like to watch your videos. I mean, even if nobody was watching my videos, talking to myself to a camera is just something that experience, and I don't know, it's hard to explain. So even if you don't want to put the videos on YouTube, you can make the videos and keep it to yourself and watch yourself on the screen, and you can watch how you are and how you present yourself. Because even another thing I could say is how you appear. When you're not confident, you slouch down, you put your head down. You know, your posture is another thing, you know. That's something that when I didn't have a lot of self-esteem, I was doing, you know. So postures is just a good example of how, you know, you can put yourself out there as, you know. So, and even like how you speak. Like if someone asks you a question, or someone, or even if you're trying to persuade the audience about something and you're not confident in what you're saying, that right there is telling you that your self-esteem is low. Okay, so yeah, like I said, starting a YouTube channel or even doing videos, and just don't even share it on the internet, whatever you're gonna do, you know, is your preference. Okay, so the third thing I would say to improving your self-esteem and self-image is looking in the mirror every day. And I know you may think, oh my gosh, like that's stupid, why would you say that? I look in the mirror every day. But not in the way you think. Looking in the mirror and looking at yourself, and just for a good 5 minutes, and just looking at yourself and just saying, you know, I'm good enough. I am worth something. And at the time you may think it's silly, but it is true, because when you look at yourself, that's how you see yourself. So if you talk to yourself every day and you tell yourself, you know, I'm worth it, you know, I am somebody, even if you don't believe it, you know, just keep saying it to yourself, because sooner or later you are going to believe it. My fourth thing I would say is to take up a hobby or sport or something where you're on a team with a bunch of girls that support you and are doing the same thing. Like I said, my hobby is YouTube. My hobby is YouTube. And like I said, taking up either dance or basketball or even soccer or something, or even you could do hip hop or whatever you would like, you know, and just set your mind to it. Or even like you could walk around the block and have a partner, a workout partner. You could do that. Those things are good, because like I said, when you're on a team and you're both striving for the same goal, you build confidence, you know. And the fifth thing I would say to do, the last one, is to go on trips. Or even, not even, you could, what I'm trying to say is splurge on yourself. Treat yourself to something. Go to the movies by yourself, and not with someone else. Go by yourself. Because you have quality time by yourself. You know, either go to the movies or go out to lunch, brunch, or whatever, go to the city, do something that's gonna help you to build your self-confidence. So those are my 5 things that could help your self-esteem. And if you have any other suggestions, you can put it down in the comments box and I'll look at it. And yeah, I think that's all I have for building self-confidence and self-image and stuff like that. If you think I missed out on anything, please make sure you put it in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!